Hey babes, how are we all going? It is Kerry of Operation Abundance HD. Yet again, I just hear another story on another Facebook group about a mum who's really dysregulated, sleep deprived, young baby, and how do I keep myself regulated, right? How many, if I had $1 for every time I heard this, I'd probably have, I don't know, $100. Anyway, it's a big one, right? And this goes across women of all aged children, right? Doesn't matter if they are babies. When you get to like kids when they're in their primary school years, in their high school years, like you are still up at night sometimes with your child, you know, little kids, little problems, big kids, big problems, right? When they say it is a 24-hour-a-day job, they are not fucking kidding, right? It is 24 hours a day. Like, and when they go out, you're worrying about them. Like, it's real, right? But the stress and the burnout comes from needing to be everything for everyone, or no, let me correct that. The feeling of needing to be everything for everyone. We have got such a societal patriarchy belief that women can have it all, but they don't tell us that we still have to hold everything we had before that as well. So you think back in war times, like women had to go to work because all the men were at war, right? And so when all the men came back, they were like, oh, go back into the house, you know, la, 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 la. So women got a taste of that. And then of earning their own money and their independence, then they're like, oh, okay, we've got to go back into the house again. They made a science out of it. They called it domestic science, for fuck's sake, right? And so they did that. And so then it was expected that we stay at home, we bring our husband their slippers and, you know, all the things, right? I'm just watching the Chaos Factory out here doing a bloody thing. Oh, this dog. We're getting a trainer on Thursday. So we become these domestic goddesses where we are able to stay at home and look after children. We're expected to, like, we feel guilty if we have a job and we earn our own money. We couldn't even have our own money back then, right? And so it's expected of us to have the children, stay home, keep the household, and many of us were happy to do that. I would be happy to do that, right? But then, like, we get this movement of like, yes, women, you can be whatever you want to be and la, la, la. But there's still that expectation that if you do want to have a career and a job, you still need to hold everything down at home. And what you'll notice as well is that, like, if the mum goes out to get a job, it's compared against the child, the cost of childcare for their kids. It's like completely, nah. If you want to really get into this, there's a really awesome book called The Wife Drought. That's like friggin' phenomenal around all the statistics around women at work and how they carry the emotional load, right? And the financial load. So what I want to say is when you are burnt out and when you're carrying the load and you're really dysregulated, you're snapping at kids, you're snapping at partners, you're not being who you want to be as a mother, because we don't go into being mothers wanting to be snappy, wanting to be, not a nice person, which is what we end up being because we've got so much emotion brewing in us that every now and again it's got to come out. It's like a pressure cooker and it's just letting the steam out a little bit when we snap, when we have an outburst, right? And then we've got the added pressure of the guilt we feel afterwards because we're not being who we want to be as a mum, as a partner, as a wife, as a whatever, right? So here's what you do. You actually allow all the shit that you are feeling, okay? You actually give yourself a quiet 5 minutes and you don't have 5 minutes. Bullshit. We've all got 5 minutes, right? Kids got to sleep sometime. Give yourself that time to just sit with your emotions and allow all of it. Yes, we asked to be mothers. Yes, we wanted these children. But, there's a lot of things that we want. I love chocolate cake too, but I would be a bit pissed off if I had to eat it 24 hours a day every fucking day, right? Yes, we want to be mums. Yes, we asked for these children. Yes, we should be grateful, but sometimes it's fucking shit and it's allowed to be shit, okay? So allow the feeling in your body. Sit with it. Go below the neck. Don't think about it. Don't start talking yourself out of it and shaming yourself for feeling it. Go into your body and allow everything you are feeling. Emotions don't come out of a vacuum. You feel what you feel for a freaking good reason, okay? So allow all of the story to come out. Allow all of the feeling to come out. Allow all of the blame, the anger, the hopelessness, the fear, all of it. Allow all of it. Because what you hold in is what you put out, and what you put out is what you get back. So you think you're doing such a good job holding this shit, and you are spitting it out energetically and spraying everyone with it, okay? So allow all of it. Get angry. Rage journal. I love a good rage journal. Just get a cheap $2 book from Kmart and a ballpoint pen and just, and I just get my fist. I'm like, shit, piss, bollocks. Like, get it out of your body because it needs to be moved through, okay? Now, the reason why we don't do this is, number one, we are shamed for feeling our shit. As children, we're told, stop crying, else I'll give you something to cry for. Go to your room until you're in a better, until you're in a better attitude. Don't speak to me like that. All of the things, right? We get shamed out of feeling our emotions because they're intensely uncomfortable for other people to witness. And so it's much easier for them to shut us down than what it is for them to sit with us while we're regulating ourselves, right? So that's number one reason why we don't feel our shit and allow our shit. Number two is that we feel like if we go into our emotions, we will never get out of it. Bullshit again, right? Emotions are like waves in the ocean. They peak, they trough, they dissipate. Think of like at a time when you were a toddler in a supermarket having a tantrum, right? Imagine that. You're not still there at however old you are, 30 years old, still having that same tantrum, okay? Emotions pass. That you know how good you feel when you have a good cry. That is what it is, right? But you need to sit with it. You need to give yourself that 5 minutes to be able to sit with it, feel it, let it move through your body. You might not move it all through at once, but it will take the big chunks out of it, right? So that's number two reason. We think we're going to stay in it. We will not, okay? Number three reason we don't feel our shit is because we feel like once we're in it, it's going to get worse. That's true. It probably will get worse for about 90 seconds. But you know what? You're an adult. You're not going to unalive yourself in that 90 seconds, okay? You can move through it. You can allow it. It's going to be as painful as shit. And yes, it's going to suck. And I hate it myself. And I'd like, and you do the ugly cry and this yelling and the blah. But you got to move it through, right? And it will get worse for a moment and then it will get better because that's what emotions do, right? They come up because they're coming up to leave. They're there to tell you the story of why they're there in the first place. And they want you to resolve it. They want you to be the adult that you needed in that time when you felt that feeling last, okay? So that's what it's being there. So be with yourself in those moments. Allow it through. Have the ugly cry, rage journal, scream, yell. The only thing that I will say about processing emotions and kicking and yelling and doing all of that stuff is making sure that when you do it, you don't hurt or scare anybody. Like, you don't want to be doing that in front of your children because that's going to scare them because they're going to think mummy's nuts. But it's like, no, mummy's just regulating. But like, do not do it in front of your children, obviously. Don't do it in front of anyone that you're going to frighten. If you're going to do it with someone, make sure that that person is very regulated themselves and can hold the space for you to do so. Okay? So once you've done that, once that emotion is released, you can get to that point of like, oh, right, you've given that gift to yourself. I went through a decade of expecting people to be able to give that to me. I had to give that gift to myself to be able to sit with my shit, feel my shit, so I don't lose my shit. Okay? And that's what we do. Hello, one person who's sticking with me. Say hello. Who are you? Hello. Right? So you need to sit with it, allow it, surrender to it. You're there, it's there for a reason, okay? Once you've felt it fully, you've moved it through, it could take 2 minutes, it could take 5 minutes, who knows? Do it not in front of your kids. Don't do it where you're going to hurt somebody or frighten anybody, right? And then you get to a point of, okay, it is what it is. Okay, when you cry, it's the old beliefs leaving your body, okay? So allow it. Surrender to it. Give it the ass is what I say. Honor how you feel. Allow what you feel and surrender to how you feel. And then you get to that point of it is what it is. And then you can decide, who do I want to be in these moments? Who do I want to be? Hi, Pammy. Who do I want to be? How do I want to tell this story in hindsight? When I can say, like, when, you know, my mum-in-law comes over or my partner comes over, whatever, just say, oh my God, Tyler was being a real little turd today. But you know what I did? I actually, like, put him into bed and he had a bit of a cry, but that's okay. And then I just, like, regulated myself, and then I was a much better mum to be able to go back in and sort him out. Like, you may need to suppress how it is that you are feeling in that moment when you recognize you have been triggered, right? It's being emotionally mature is about recognizing when you've been triggered, doing what you need to do to get through in that moment, especially with kids, right? And then making sure that you go back to that emotion and move it through your body. That's emotional maturity, okay? There's also other things that are emotional maturity, but knowing that, like, this kid is not being this kid because to piss you off. Like, hello, darling. Like, life is going to life. Situations, children, they don't do what they do to piss you off. They do it because they are unregulated themselves. Life is going to life. There is going to be situations that are going to be like what you don't prefer. And that's the way life is. How you handle it is the difference. And what you'll notice is the more you allow and process the emotions, the less triggered you are going to be. Because whenever you are triggered and you have those big reactions, it's not just that one time. It's all the other times you felt the same way, coming up like a tidal wave and blowing up. Okay? So that's what I would encourage you to do. If you are someone who is feeling reactive, feeling dysregulated, feeling burnt out, feeling like you're carrying the emotional load, all of those things, then when you do all that, then you can decide what you want to do about it. Do you need help? Like, do you need to talk about this? What do you need? Like, then tap into what it is that you need. Okay? Anyway, that's all I'll say about that, because I've got to get my kid ready for school. That's what I need to do. So anyway, I hope that you got some value out of this. Hit me up for one-on-one sessions. If this is something that you really want to work on for yourself, if you are not being the mother that you want to be, if you're not being the partner, the person, the wife, the sister, the mother, the daughter, whoever, if you're not being who it is that you really want to be for yourself, I say that because women always relate to who they want to be for other people more, and it's just a good hook to get you to actually do the work for yourself. So if you're not being who you want to be because you're too reactive, you're triggered, you don't know what it is you're feeling, you just know that you're pissed off, you're resentful, and you're angry all the time, like, this is the work you need to do, okay? Hit me up for one-on-one sessions. Pammy is one of my one-on-one clients. She will tell you how she's as regulated as fuck. She's as zen as a Hindu cow. So, but like, yeah, you need to know this stuff, right? All right. I'm going to go now. Much love to you. Bye now.